the Super Speedway.
Welcome to episode 289 of the Super Speedway podcast, recorded Monday, July 31st, 2023. I'm your host, Eric Young, and I am joined, as always, by my co-host, James Cush. James, how's it going today?
Man, it's better than than it was Sunday, sitting through whatever the heck that was. Which I guess it wasn't. I mean, I didn't hate it, but it just felt like it took forever. But other than that, it was good.
Yeah, forever, I think, is an understatement. It did feel pretty long. It really felt like that Richmond race could be a 300 lapper, like Loudon versus 400 lapper.
Yeah, I don't know if NASCAR is like putting the schedule together with duct tape and Band-Aids at this point, but I gotta imagine that decisions might be made after that one.
Wow. I mean, first of all, they've taken out, half the seats that place used to have?
Yeah.
And it still wasn't half full.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, the idea of the one event thing is building momentum.
I got your solution. Ready?
Oh my God. Fix NASCAR again.
We're going to jump in right away. We are not even going to talk about the winner yet. We're going to jump in. We're going to fix Richmond.
Let's fix it.
Two things we're going to do. One, we're going to reduce to one date. We're going to take the second date. We're going to give it to Iowa because, hey, it's the same track anyway, basically, right? Give another track a chance. It's kind of like you're still going to Richmond, but you're not. It's a different track. And then we're going to take this race. Let's try it under the lights again. Maybe the
Put
lights.
some sealer on it?
Maybe the lights. Sealer? I don't know about that.
Resin, like Dale Jr. said?
Yeah. And I don't know that resin's the solution either. Because it wasn't, the problem with the track wasn't that it wasn't wide enough.
It's racier than heck, yeah.
Yeah.
They're testing today. So.
The problem is they don't run into each other. We need them to run into each other.
Unless you're Kyle Larson on new tires.
Yeah, or you're coming to the checkers and you're mid-pack. I mean, that helps too.
Yeah, that does help.
Or you're Noah Gragson, who manages to hit something every weekend right now.
So I thought about this today.
Yeah.
Because I had time. And I'm listening to the teardown, and I get this, like, pain just shoot through my body as I'm listening to it because I don't know what it is. It just drives me nuts. But was it a good race? And like analysis of every race is starting to make me cringe and drive me nuts. Because you're
not a fan of the poll?
I'm not. I stop listening when the poll comes up. That's usually when I turn it off. But I like every time, and Jeff and Jordan do great work. I gotta put that out in front, or else I'm gonna get myself in trouble. But every time we have a race like this, it's like, oh my God, it sucks so bad. And I did it myself at the beginning of the podcast. I'm like, oh God, I did it again. But I don't know if it's the just the way NASCAR media and NASCAR fans are. But man, oh man, every time we have a stinker, it's like, oh, that sucked. There's a bad race, and that's the first thing you hear when, I mean, it really wasn't terrible. It was just sometimes races get like that, and they shouldn't. But you expect. I guess that's probably what it is too. Is you expect when you go to a short track to see short track racing, and whenever we don't, I think that drives everybody a little bit batty at the end. So I don't know. I wish I could fix that, but I can't because I'm just as guilty as everybody else.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, we need. I don't have a good answer either.
I know it's hard.
Every race can't be a barn burner, but on the other side of things, though, is again they've torn out half the seats in this place, and they still can't fill half the seats that are left. I mean, that tells you something, right?
Yeah, it does. And I don't think NASCAR cares as much about attendance as they want to make us believe that they do. That's kind of something I've always kind of felt. they like the TV money more than anything. But it's not a good look, especially, NASCAR can never catch the momentum. We get something good and we lose something. We get something good, we lose something. Then we have rain. And then, and then last week, I guess it's the contrast between what we had last week and what we had this week. Last week, you got one date, fantastic racing, action all over the track on a huge oval, and the place was packed. Camping was packed, grandstands were packed, and everybody's like, "Wow, NASCAR, this is great." I saw people saying NASCAR was back. I'm like, well, didn't go anywhere, but this was great. I agree, this was really good. And then you come here and it's like just a kick in the pants from what you had last week, and I just wish that we could. I wish we could ride the wave a little bit longer, maybe.
Well, I have a question. I have a question.
Yeah, hit me.
Why, when we've reduced so many of these racetracks that have struggled with attendance to one race versus two, why does Richmond still have two? I know the answer to this question. I know the answer to the question.
Well, I think
it's a short track.
Yes, that's where
so
I was.
We are sacrificing.
That's the only reason
we are sacrificing a good race on the schedule because, and we're rewarding a track because it just happens to be a short track.
Right.
That shouldn't be what it shouldn't get a pass because it's a short track. I think just like any of these other tracks, and look, there's a good chance we're going to do this with Bristol next year. If they're not producing 2 dates, then let's reduce them to one and make it special. Yeah. I wanted to read a quote. This is from Brad Keselowski during his press conference after the race. He says, "I think this is the type of racing the Cup Series needs. We can't have the same type of racing every week. The variability of it is tremendously rewarding to me and demands a lot out of the drivers and a lot out of the teams. When all is said and done, because of that, more often than not, you look at who is in victory lane and you say that person deserved to be there. I think that's critically important for our series." Is this type of racing important for NASCAR?
He makes a valid point that I don't have. Honestly, like in all reality, I don't really have a problem with it. I just seeing the long green flag run like this is not NASCAR racing, and I know NASCAR racing has changed a lot, but the cars are too durable. Yeah. The cars are too fast in the corners. We're not seeing the typical NASCAR action that we're used to. And Eric, that goes way back to early days. I mean, you used to have cautions for mechanical failures. We just don't get that kind of stuff anymore. There's no break in the action. There's no, the reason we get cautions now kind of varies.
Right. Depending on how quick they are to the button this week.
Yeah, or mostly stupidity from the driver.
That too.
Driver's perspective. But it's tough, man, because NASCAR isn't it's not a sit down for 3 hours and watch all green flag racing. It's just not. That's not what it is. And
right.
I don't mind what Brad said though, because I do like the variability of the different tracks and different styles. But this is just tough to swallow.
Here's my thing: should we? And I'm answering this question. Should we get rid of Richmond because of the way it races? No, we shouldn't. Because NASCAR should be about racing whatever it is that you're given that week.
And it's the most diverse series in the world.
But that being said, will I buy a ticket to go to Richmond? No, I'm not going to go buy a ticket to go and watch this. I won't go watch this. Would I, if I wasn't doing a podcast the next day, would I really commit to watching 4 hours of this on Sunday? Probably not. I probably wouldn't. So that's where NASCAR needs to make their decision is maybe we don't lose Richmond because of the racing, but we lose Richmond because nobody's tuning into it. Yeah. And we'll see what happens with ratings and stuff, because I know there were high expectations going into this week because NBC hyped the crap out of, Payback. We can do Payback this week and blah, 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 which we haven't seen Payback at Richmond in forever. And I guess if you want to call what Larson did to Hamlin, maybe he gave him some payback.
A little bit of payback, a little mini payback.
Yeah, so I don't know. But what we did see, James, is we saw 4 unlikely candidates, 2 unlikely teams battling it out for the win throughout this entire race. Yeah, if you would have told me that there would be a race this season where the top 4 cars were 2311 and RFK, or the top 4 cars, I would never have taken that bet.
Yeah.
Never in a million years would I have said, that'll happen.
Yeah, that was special. It was a special day.
We'll mention now, Chris Buescher gets the win. His second victory with RFK, third career victory, correct? I believe.
Third career victory, yes, sir.
Gets RFK back in victory lane. Brad Keselowski also. I mean, Brad Keselowski really dominated this race. 102
He had
laps
a great
led.
race. He had a great race. And then they kind of screwed the pooch at the end.
One mistake on pit road, and
same thing happened to Bubba.
Yeah.
Bubba made one mistake on pit road, and never recovered.
Yep.
Which sucks. Like, it sucks for both of them. But Brad's in a great spot points wise. He's not in danger of losing a playoff spot.
No.
Bubba's, he's in the bubble range, so it could come back to
55 points to the good.
He's good.
But
yeah, I mean, he's
going into 2 tracks that he's going to suck at.
No, the cut line's going to move after Michigan. It's going to start moving.
I mean,
around,
if he gets himself a win at Michigan, that kind of erases the problem. But
that's right. Yep.
The road course, the 2 road course races before the final or before the end of the regular season has got to be scary to Bubba Wallace for sure.
Yeah.
And then there's Daytona, which you just never know what's going to happen. But
that's right. Yeah.
This is a victory for Brad Keselowski, regardless of the 6th place finish, right? I mean, all around, obviously he's the team owner, but just what he's built in this team, and this has been a consistent team. This isn't just a fluke win like last year might have been. This is a consistent team.
He's already equaled his numbers from last year as far as season highs. And talking about Chris Buescher, but his average finish has to be mentioned. Like, he is a career best average finish by basically 4.5 spots.
Yeah.
I mean, he is really, and tip of the hat to Brad. I feel like last year was such a grind, but I also, not to toot my own horn, but I believed in Brad Keselowski making something happen here, and I think we're starting to see the early fissures of what this thing could kind of blossom into and become, because that was a special day, and they're not there. They're not there on the 1.5 miles. They've got growing pains. They're still fighting through. But god dang, if RFK Racing isn't, hunting out top 15s every single week, and last year that was not the case. It was surprising to see them make a top 10 run last year, and that's just not true anymore. Like, this team is going somewhere right now.
Those 2 cars are top 3 Ford cars right now.
Yes, they are. Yeah, they're better than any SHR car outside of Harvick.
Yeah,
and they are as good as any Penske ride right now, outside of Joey Logano probably. So
I don't know. I think they're better than Joey Logano right now.
Well, Joey, yeah. I mean, you can make an argument for it, and Blaney's right there too. But they're good. They're good enough right now, man. I mean,
they're peaking at the right time.
Regardless if Chris won this race or not, he's in a good spot in the playoffs,
right?
And now he's locked in. So
I was
huge.
Also high on Brad. I didn't think he'd be able to do it this quickly. And like you said, they're not done yet. Obviously, there's still
this is early.
There's a lot of room to grow yet. But I think Brad. You just never know when somebody puts their name on a team, especially when their name is the third name in the team name.
Yeah.
Just how much effect they're going to have. But you know what I've heard, so obviously I've honestly never been to the Roush Fenway Keselowski shop. When we did the shop tours last year, I didn't go there. But hearing from like TJ Majors, who, obviously is Brad's spotter and is familiar with the team, and worked over at Penske and stuff too, it really sounds like Brad took that Penske mindset, the cleanliness of Penske, the stiff collar, and has brought that to Roush Fenway. Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that was something that, to me, I never thought I'd see Brad leave Penske, because I thought he was such a good fit there. But to see him kind of make that extension of Penske now and make it his own thing. And I mean, Brad was successful as a Truck Series owner. He didn't leave the Truck Series because he was failing.
No.
I mean, look at drivers that are, he's got a record from the Truck Series like Junior has in the Xfinity Series as far as Cup drivers. So,
yeah. Yep.
I mean, you could argue that he's had more success than Kyle Busch has had as far as bringing talent through. So,
well, it goes to show you too that this model can work, and we've seen it work multiple times. Tony Stewart's probably the best example, right? Yeah. You given a team, he partners with Rick Hendrick, and all of a sudden, like, that team, he's leading the points in his first season with Stewart Haas, which is a totally different situation. Denny Hamlin, like, that team is, he's not driving for that team, but he has a vision for what that team is, and he's a successful Cup Series driver with a really strong organization, same as Tony, coming out of the Gibbs camp, and they just know what it takes to be successful. And Brad, same thing, man. He was with Penske forever, and like you said, Eric, he just kind of brought that mentality over, and I think it's going to get them somewhere here sooner rather than later. Now, I think they are on the upswing big time for what their goals are going to be, and I think they should set the bar pretty high for 2024 and 2025.
Yeah, maybe they'll even make it to the main event in the Clash next year.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
They haven't qualified yet.
Yeah.
I mean, if there is a Clash, who knows what we're going to get there. But,
we'll find out.
Yeah.
Yep.
We talked about the racing. We only had one natural caution all day. It came with 10 laps to go when
12 laps to go, I think, something like that.
Noah Gragson got in the back of Daniel Suarez and spun him and brought the caution out quickly. There was no waiting around on that caution. That caution came
they got
out
that
fast.
one in. Yes, sir.
But again, we didn't get the contact that you want to see at a short track. It's just, this place doesn't race like a short track anymore. And, you talk about the car,
Michigan.
Right. You talk about the car and the changes we made to the car, but I don't know if I can buy that because the Xfinity Series and the Truck Series race like this too.
Yeah.
And I mean, we haven't seen a major change in the Truck Series in a long time.
No.
And the Truck Series is not any different than what we see in the Cup cars. So
yeah, it's a mix of a bunch of different things.
The only reason we get wrecks in the Truck Series is inexperience.
Right. Well,
you're guaranteed to. It's like an ARCA race. You're guaranteed to have some wrecks there. Xfinity too. You don't have the experience. Yep. You're gonna wreck some cars.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know what the solution is here. I do think that they need to cut down to one date. I've said before I'm not in favor of getting rid of all the dates. But I think it was. I don't know. I listened to Denny's podcast. I listened to the Teardown today. I think it was the Teardown mentioned that that Richmond is like not quite as bad as Texas, but in Texas territory. And I'm like, right now, I'd rather see a next gen race at Texas than I would.
Yeah, because you
Richmond.
Don't know with the mile and a half.
Right.
Yeah, if you're gonna get a break. Yeah.
So I think that Texas and the next gen car still has something to prove yet.
Yep.
But I think Richmond has been written off at this point.
It's not good. I know, like I said earlier, we're testing today. Maybe.
Yeah, I'm optimistic about that, but we'll see.
Yeah. From last I saw, Bob was saying they're not quite where they wanted to be, but they saw a lot of progress today. So they're hoping to dial it in tomorrow.
Gotcha.
With what they're testing today to get those front ends off the ground. I mean, it looked pretty crazy, but cool nonetheless. I guess that we're trying something. So yeah. That's good. That's good.
Denny Hamlin comes fresh off his Pocono win, almost gets another one here, finishes second. 20 laps led for Denny Hamlin. Kyle Busch, another good day. He qualified well.
He surged.
Yeah.
Surged late. Yeah.
Qualified well, didn't run well in the race, but managed to get that third place finish and sent Denny off into turn one pretty good. Joey Logano, always sneaky good here. How about Ryan Preece? A great day for Ryan.
Yeah. He was, I don't know if this race breaks a little bit differently. We get a couple more cautions or something. He was definitely fast enough if he had gotten an opportunity. He looked really strong. That was really good to see. Really good to see.
And Martin Truex Jr. continues to be consistently in the top 10.
He found something, and he might be the best in the series at this right now. But when that car doesn't have speed, that son of a gun finds it. And I don't know how he does it, but he hunts around, and all of a sudden that 19 car came from the depths of hell to having a really strong day. They got on a different pit strategy, and all of a sudden they were up there. Holy cow. That was because he was on my fantasy team, so I was watching him pretty closely. And all of a sudden he was roaring back up. I made sure I kept him in my lineup because he was coming.
If you want to know what karma is, so I was originally going to pick Chase Briscoe for this race. And then I chose Ross Chastain when Shane Van Gisbergen was announced. Chastain got me 13 points. Chase Briscoe would have gotten me 26. So
you know what my new nickname for Ross is, right?
What's that?
What I've been calling him. He's the pumpkin.
The pumpkin, yes.
Yep. He turned back and he's not a watermelon anymore. He turned into a pumpkin. They suck right now. Not just him.
No.
That whole organization.
Suarez looked like a fool on Sunday.
Yeah, I know they're complaining about their cars a little bit. So that's going to be, we're going to Michigan. I want to see what that one car does this weekend.
Yeah.
Because I mean, he won Nashville. He should at least be a top 10 car at Michigan. If they're not a top 10 car at Michigan, they got big problems.
Did he lead a bunch of laps there last year? I feel like he did.
I think he might have. Yeah.
He was
that
or
car.
He was running through the field. I remember mentioning him when I was.
They were pretty flipping fast last year.
Yeah.
I can find that for you real quick though. Thank you, Racing Reference. Going down to Michigan, and he didn't. Yeah, he did. Well, he didn't lead a whole lot of laps, but he led laps.
I remember 29. I remember he was moving through the field at one point.
Yeah, 29 laps at Michigan's.
It's not bad.
That's pretty good. Yeah,
it's a good day.
Yeah, that's a decent day.
Probably the interesting thing on the weekend, I thought, AJ Allmendinger, racing for a bubble spot. And they skip practice and qualifying to have him go race at Road America. What the hell? Like I get trophy hunting, but what in the world are you thinking?
The only thing I can think of, because the Teardown covered this too, and Jeff was flipping out.
Yeah. Rightfully so.
The only thing I can think of for this is that they're getting him additional reps on a road course for what he's got coming up. And that doesn't even, and I say that, and it doesn't make sense.
No, because the car doesn't. The only thing I can think of, James, is there had to be, I don't remember what sponsor was on his car in the Xfinity race, but there had to be some sponsorship deal there that he had to run that car.
Yeah.
It had to be a sponsorship commitment that he had to run that car.
They announced it so late, too.
I don't understand why you would do this. Well, and they announced it late, but this was apparently scheduled.
Yeah.
Or like way out before they knew that they would be in this position. But still, man, that's just, like, I get it. AJ says he's not good at Richmond. But if you're not good at Richmond, then don't you think you want the practice?
I guess, well, you're right. But, I get, just playing devil's advocate again, like, they don't really practice anymore. So,
yeah, but
I guess, but he has to go to the back.
Yeah, exactly.
He technically didn't lose that much based on who he's racing
I believe
against.
he lost 5 points, but I'll tell you what, 5 points is huge if you miss by,
It's easy to look at the results and say, yeah, you lost 5, but what could 5 have been?
Right.
5 could have been 20 the other direction if you get you win a stage or you stay out and. He wouldn't
have done worse.
No, that's true. I know. That's what I'm saying. He only got 10 points on the day, so it's not like he was never really a factor all day. Right. So, yeah, that was a weird call. I don't
understand it.
Yeah. And then when he wins Watkins Glen or Indianapolis, we'll be like, well, whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it didn't matter. He knew.
Lastly, it was. Announced today, Joe Gibbs Racing announced Ty Gibbs' crew set a NASCAR record for a 4-tire pit stop, 8.54 seconds.
Nice.
During this race. That's incredible, right? I remember when 13 seconds was fast.
I remember when 16 seconds was fast.
Right.
I remember when 10 seconds on one side was fast.
Sure, they only have 4 lugs around the whole car now, but still, man, that's impressive.
Yeah.
That's really impressive.
Nuts. I don't know how much faster we can go, but...
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yep.
They got nothing on Formula One still. Those are like 3-4 seconds. So,
no, yeah, those are
still got a ways to go.
Yeah.
So I want to look at the cutoff real quick here. Before we move on to the other 2 series.
Yeah, we're getting into the nitty gritty here, bud.
We are 4 races to go. Brad Keselowski right now. Let's see, he's 151 points to the good. Is that correct? Do I have that right?
Yeah, he's 100. Yep.
151 to the good.
Right.
So looking pretty good for Brad to make it in, barring anything crazy. Bubba Wallace, 54 points to the good. Again, that's comfortable, but not too comfortable. Michael McDowell, obviously, hanging there on the bubble right now.
Bad day.
18 to the good. Ty Gibbs is 18 out. You assume Michael McDowell and Ty Gibbs both going to be good at the road courses upcoming.
And Daytona.
Yeah.
McDowell will be good at Daytona.
So, interesting to see what happens there. AJ Allmendinger, 22 points out. Daniel Suarez, 34 points out. I think Suarez is going the wrong direction.
He's not making it, no.
He won't make it. I wanted to draw attention to number 20, though. Chase Elliott, 40 points out, James.
Here we go.
So, I'm standing by it, but I'll tell you what.
He's not making it.
10 points a week? You don't think he can make up 10 points a week?
It's not. That's the problem with this whole discussion. He's not racing one number. He's racing like 12 numbers because all of those guys around him are still battling for the same thing.
So Denny
he's got to win.
Denny Hamlin had an argument.
Oh boy.
4 weeks.
I heard this.
4 weeks ago, Bubba Wallace was on the bubble.
Yep.
4 weeks later, he's 54 points to the good, and he's finished mid-pack.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Chase has got. I think Chase has the best average finish this year so far of everybody.
Yeah, I heard that today too, but smaller sample size.
I don't know.
What is he doing right now?
The question becomes that you have guys like Ty Gibbs, you have guys like AJ Allmendinger, you have Alex Bowman waiting there, Austin Cindric, Justin Haley, even maybe Eric Almirola, Ryan Preece has been running good. All these guys can sneak a win. You got Austin Dillon, who did it last year at Daytona. So as soon as one of those guys gets a win, which you got to think somebody outside the top 16 is going to get a win, right?
Yeah.
As soon as one of them gets a win, that cut line moves.
Yes.
And now it's not 50 point or 40 points anymore. Now it's more.
50. Yeah.
I stand by. He's not going to do it. He was not a factor on Sunday. Again, none of Hendrick was. I don't think it's going to happen.
I hear everybody's argument about how his average finish.
I think he has a better chance of pointing his way in than winning his way in.
You can't finish 13th, 12th, 10th, and 13th every single week like that and point your way in. You just can't. It can't be done.
Do you think he's going to finish 13th at Indianapolis or especially Watkins Glen?
I don't think he's as good on the road courses as he was back when, man.
Well, it was the old car, but I think he's a top 10 at Watkins Glen, right?
I think he's got to play the points game. Like if people in front of him are pitting, I think win the stage. You go win the stage, right?
That's true.
You take the 10. And
that is interesting at this point. If you're Chase Elliott, especially somewhere like Watkins Glen, because I think Watkins Glen is his best shot. Do you play the points or do you
win
try for the win?
You win 2 stages. That's 20 points right there, right? So if you're trying to get as many points as possible, you stay out, you win a stage, and then you kind of play the game and see if you can't win, win in stage 3 and try to get the win. But it's hard. The points discussion, listen, I'm okay if I'm wrong here, but I just can't see it. There was a time where I thought he could. I don't think he can. Yeah. It's just seems too far out now.
I think he could have before he took the extra week off.
He's just not. Yeah.
It was the extra week after the Denny Hamlin incident that
he's gotta show winning speed. Yeah. And he just hasn't shown it at all. I agree.
So you're saying you're on my side now because I.
Oh yeah. He blew it. He's blown it in my opinion.
Good. All right.
But if AJ Allmendinger bumps him, in 2 weeks or whatever. But again, Shane Van Gisbergen comes in. Cut line stays the same. That could actually hurt Suarez and help Chase. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how they play this.
Yeah, very interesting.
Yep.
Anything else with the Cup Series before we move on?
I think we covered it.
I know we spent way more time.
Somehow we did.
Way more time than I think we expected. Ty Gibbs, highest finishing rookie, 15th place. Martin Truex Jr. is your points leader, 39 points over Denny Hamlin is second in points now. So creeping up there.
Yeah. The Hendrick Brigade was bad, and that included Byron. That was all of them. They were all bad.
Yeah.
I mean, every SHR car beat every Hendrick car. That doesn't happen. So I don't know what was going on with those guys. They're bad.
NASCAR Xfinity Series was up in Wisconsin at Road America, probably where the Cup Series should have been. Sam Mayer gets himself his first Xfinity win. Very interesting green-white checker at the end between Sam Mayer, Justin Allgaier, and Sage Karam. Sam, the only one that comes out on top on that deal, as Justin Allgaier manages to throw another win away. And Sage Karam finishes 4th as Parker Kligerman sneaks up for a second-place finish. And Austin Hill almost sneaks in there and gets himself one again.
That was the best race of the weekend.
It was a great race.
It was a great finish.
That's how I said it. I feel like the Cup cars should have been there.
Yeah, Cup cars were good there. I don't know why. Yeah. Well, I do know. We do know why.
We do know why.
But regardless, that was great. It was really good.
Yeah. Chandler Smith pounds the wall.
Oh my God. Yeah, I have some commentary on this one.
Yeah, let's go for it.
I was going to ask you first, are you okay with how he tried to scrub the speed?
Yeah, I think if you look at what he did and you look at...
that's where I was going, I think.
Yeah.
I think you're going where I was going.
Who the heck was the other one? Alex LeBay. If you look at Alex's wreck, and Alex scrubbed speed off too. If you would have done what Chandler did and not scrubbed off speed, you'd went straight off. It'd have been Brad Keselowski when Brad Keselowski wrecked at Road Atlanta testing.
Busted his ankle. Yep.
Yeah, I mean he'd have been hurt.
Yeah, I saw some wrecks from that corner in other series, and I thought, wow, that was a heads-up move by Chandler. I know I pounded the retaining wall pretty hard.
How difficult it is. I mean, I get it, you're a road course, and I get it that it's like 28 miles around that place. But can we just put a solid freaking concrete wall around there instead of one that moves like that?
Yeah, that was nuts. Like, I was afraid that he was going to hook the barrier.
Yeah, the car exploded because that barrier's got so many points and stuff on it.
Yeah. I mean, it's a heads-up move, but god dang, dude, these guys, everybody thinks that the racing's not dangerous anymore. Just watch that whole thing was a freak show.
Well, and he questioned his move in the post-wreck interview, and dude, if you walked away from a wreck like that, don't question your move. You made the right choice.
Yeah, he did. He made the right call. You don't want to hit that barrier hard.
No.
At the end of the straightaway.
No, I think super heads up move. I don't think I had would have the guts to do it, James.
No, I don't know what I would do. I know my fire suit would need to be changed afterwards, but I don't know what I'd do beyond that.
I mean, I've lost brakes on the street before. I've lost brakes in a car, and that's scary enough doing 30 miles an hour. I can't imagine doing it 170 or whatever he was, or 140.
Yeah, I lost brakes rolling to a stop, and that was scary enough. So, yeah, don't want to do that. Yeah, heads up, man. That was great. It was a great move.
Yep, glad he was okay for sure. AJ Allmendinger, we mentioned him running this race, finishes 9th. Had brake issues as well, and then ended up getting cleaned out by I think it was Sam Mayer went around, but it wasn't Sam Mayer's fault, or not Sam Mayer. What the hell is his name? Number 18.
Oh, I didn't see this wreck, but yeah, number 18 is...
Why can't I think of his
name?
Sammy Smith. There you go. Jeez, it's a Sam.
Young
I knew it was a
Sam.
Sam. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he got clipped and turned around, and it was just a mess going into turn. But
yeah.
But yeah, so not. I guess doing that trophy hunting didn't work out well for them this weekend.
No, that was a bad call. Bad call.
But the biggest deal, again, I mentioned Justin Allgaier leads 42 laps. Only 2 other drivers led laps in this race. Yeah. And he manages to spin out in the last restart and lose it.
Yeah, it's becoming comical now.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's got going on. But...
I pretty much watched this race just to see how he was going to blow it. When that caution came out, I'm like, this is it. It's over. He's not going to win this race.
Yeah. Yep.
Good for Sam Mayer, though. Finally gets that first win.
Well, you said it. You said it not long ago. Like, you're like, Sam Mayer's going to win eventually.
Yeah.
And, yep, there it is.
He's figured
it out.
Been right on the doorstep. First victory in 72 Xfinity Series races for him. 12th top 10 finish in 2023. So, he's doing something right.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Parker Retzlaff was your highest finishing rookie in this one in 14th place. And Austin Hill's still your points leader, 14 points over John Hunter Nemechek, who also had trouble in this one. Tried to do some off-roading and the rip the radiator out of it instead. So
yes. Yep. That happens.
This place is brutal if you get off track, man.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
It will tear your car to pieces.
It's a crazy course, man.
Yeah, it is.
A lot of fun to drive on the video games, though.
Yeah. It's fun to watch. It's just the caution laps are brutal, but otherwise.
Oh, it's terrible. Yeah. Yeah. I won't miss those conversations that we had about that. That's for sure.
The Craftsman Truck Series was in action at Richmond as well with a night race delayed by lightning. Carson Hocevar gets himself back in victory lane. First to 3 victories in the Truck Series. Let's see, 64 laps led for him, but the story was Ty Majeski, 168 laps led, and then he speeds on pit road. And that's all she wrote.
A bunch of mistakes.
Yeah. How do you speed at that? You've dominated this. You're so fast. How do you?
That's one thing I have never understood, why you wouldn't take just a little bit of extra caution, especially when you know you're that good. This is something that has bothered me for ages, with some of these guys. Like, just get through pit road clean, even if you cost yourself a second. I know how valuable those are, but man, oh man.
And then he's within a few seconds of Carson Hocevar. And Hocevar's team goes, well, we're not going to win by staying in front. Let's pit.
Yep.
And Majeski could have pit right there and still had enough speed and won the race.
Yep.
But they stay out, and Hocevar tracks him down and gets him right at the end. Gets himself his third victory. So good for Hocevar. I mean, it was definitely great strategy on their part. They managed to play the cards right when they didn't have the fastest car. Probably had the second fastest car, but didn't have the fastest one.
Did you see Carson's tweet? Oh man, I loved it. Hold on. He's great. And then he did DBC.
He did DBC. I didn't get to listen to that yet.
I didn't listen to it yet, but man,
he dropped the F-bomb on Fox, so that was good.
Yeah. Hold on, I gotta find what he said. It was a one word answer. Hold on, I got it right here. He said, oh crap, I gotta go to my likes. Gosh darn it. I should have been more prepared for this.
You should have been.
All right, man, it was so funny. Oh, here we go. So NASCAR tweets out a picture. Can anyone stop Ty Majeski tonight? And he just tweeted, yes. Oh man, that's my guy right there. I love that kind of stuff.
I think Carson's so good for the sport. He's gonna be great when he's in the Cup Series.
Yep, we got a couple years yet, but
it'll happen.
Yep.
Great kid. I mean, he's real personable too. You know, I've seen him out at Bergeron racing with the CRA late models.
I think you're gonna see him. I think you're gonna see him here pretty soon. Back at Berlin, if I'm not.
He'll be at Berlin next week.
Yep, I wouldn't doubt if he's out there. I would not doubt it if he's out there Thursday catching the show.
Yeah, it's possible.
I bet you he might be around. So
yeah, could be.
That'd be fun.
Let's see. Anything else? I don't think there's really anything else really to discuss with the truck race. Like I said,
well, the playoffs are here, which snuck up on me.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, this was the clincher for the Truck Series.
Yep. So
good call.
Yeah. Yep. The guys who are Stuart Friesen missed it. Matt Crafton made it. Just by the skin of his teeth.
Yeah. Yeah, it just sneaks in there.
The thing with me with the Truck Series regular season is how in the heck did Corey Heim miss a race and win the regular season championship? Is it that bad? I mean, I know he's having a good year, but my goodness.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know. I don't feel like you should miss a race and if nobody can catch you. I don't know. He's been really good. He's been really good this year, so I don't.
Yeah, 408 laps led on the season.
And I know he missed a start, but he's basically 13 for 14 on top 10. So
yeah,
he's putting together a little bit of a Kyle Busch-ish Truck Series run here. His only non-top 10 finish outside of Atlanta was the Bristol Dirt Race. So, Atlanta, you're prone to crashing for various reasons, and then dirt is dirt. So,
Stuart Friesen missing is a pretty big deal.
Yeah. By a smidge.
Yeah, just barely. Haley Deegan misses.
With a big cut.
Yeah. When you look at the speed that those trucks have had, hers doesn't have it. So for whatever reason, so that's a bummer. I mean, I think those are probably the two that are really jump out at you. Both the Grays, Tanner and Taylor miss. Yeah. But they kind of were inconsistent this season. Chase Purdy, coming into KBM with the switchover and stuff, not terribly surprising there. Obviously, Matt DiBenedetto getting in is a good deal for him. Nick Sanchez makes it in for sort of KBM with a 2 truck. So
yeah, and the KBM 51 is in the owner's points. And Matt Crafton's 88 is not. So KBM's running for a couple of championships here.
Yeah. Who's your pick here? Who do you think's who's gonna take the title home in the Truck Series based on who made it?
It'd be dumb not to say Corey Heim, right?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe. Carson Hocevar has 3 wins.
Carson's gonna make a mistake though.
Carson Hocevar has 3 wins, and one of those wins came on a track that's really similar to Phoenix.
Yeah.
Do you think he's going to make a mistake? He made a mistake at Pocono. But for the most part, he's been pretty clean this year.
You know what? Since Darlington, he's put it together pretty well. He might. You got Grant
Enfinger in there. We know he can sneak in and get a title. Ben Rhodes, same way. Ty Majeski's been quick.
Yeah, I mean, this is actually a pretty good field for the championship.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is. I would say that probably the top 7 have a pretty legit chance.
And we didn't even say Zane Smith's name, did we?
Right, no, we didn't. And Zane Smith obviously is always a threat.
And he's probably going to the Cup Series next year, so boy, I don't know. It's hard to say Carson when you've got that crop of guys, but it'd be nice. I'd love to see it.
Yeah.
I gotta probably stick with Heim though. Take the chalk pick because he's that good.
I'm picking Carson. Carson's my pick to win it all.
There you go.
It'd be good. Right. It'd be good to see.
Sounds good.
There we go. That is our NASCAR weekend. We head to Michigan this week, but we've got some news to discuss before that. First of all, speaking of stuff coming out of nowhere, James.
Oh boy.
The NASCAR Xfinity Series will be moving to CW in 2025.
Yes, it will.
And I know you have some thoughts on this. So what do you got? What's your thoughts on this, James? And let me tell you how my thoughts are different.
I understand that it's over the air and all that stuff. But this this looks like a money grab to me. I don't know if the CW is going to be able to pump up NASCAR the way we would like. I know it's the Xfinity Series though, so I guess I'm okay with it. But I don't love it. I don't love it.
The first thing that I've got to say is that it's Xfinity Series only. So that means that the Xfinity Series is going to get all the attention from these guys. All the attention,
that's right. Yep.
There's nothing in their way to promoting this series. So it's not an afterthought to anybody. They're going to give it 100%, you would assume. NASCAR Production is going to produce the show. So we'll see what that means exactly. I think it's really good for the Xfinity Series just because, and I think Denny talked about it on his podcast. There's teams in the Xfinity Series that are really struggling, and
it's a lot of money for them. Well, I do agree with that.
Not only that, but you as a marketing person at one of the teams, you can sell the fact that this car now it's not behind a paywall. This series is not behind a paywall.
Yep, exactly.
Anybody can watch it. All you need is an antenna. You don't have to. I don't know. I don't watch the CW, but you don't have to log into the app apparently.
Yep.
So you can watch it no matter who you are, where you are, whatever. You can watch the Xfinity Series. There's nothing to stop you. It's not going to be on cable next week. Everybody's going to know where it's at. So from a sales standpoint, I think that's pretty good. Yep. That'll really help with sponsorship and everything. And, I'd love to just crap on the CW, James, but, I mean, Fox used to be nothing. I mean, Fox was a joke, and then they got football and NASCAR and all this stuff, and now they're a powerhouse in the sports world. So, all it takes is the right people. I mean, NBC, when NBC took over the contract way back, they hadn't even broadcast a race.
Yep.
And now we love NBC. So, and I mean, ESPN has done so many great things for NASCAR, but when ESPN went away, we were all freaking thrilled that they went away. So
that's right.
I don't know. I'm optimistic. I think anytime you get a new group of people in, they're paying a lot of money for the series that this series hasn't seen in the past. So I think it's a win. We'll see how it goes.
I mean, it's nice that they get their own exposure, and I agree with everything that Denny said and that you reiterated as well, that yes, it's great for the sponsor exposure. Tell them they're on live TV. I am concerned that nobody's going to watch the CW. That's my biggest concern. I could be wrong though, man. I mean, NASCAR fans
are people stumbling across the Xfinity Series though? I think people who are watching the Xfinity Series are looking for the Xfinity Series.
Yeah, people aren't stumbling on the Xfinity Series.
Right, so then it doesn't matter.
NASCAR fans are loyal. Yeah, NASCAR fans are loyal. They're going to follow them.
It just matters that they can get to them easily, and if they can get to them easily, then that's good. I think I am concerned about logistics. You know, right now you've got Xfinity and Cup in the same weekend. It's really easy to pass from one broadcast to the other because it's the same network. This is obviously not something that you and I need to worry about because we don't work for any of the networks.
Yeah.
But still, there's some question as to how that's going to work and all that. You know, if NASCAR Productions is doing it, are we going to have hopefully announcers at the track? We'll see. All that stuff is things that you wonder how it's going to work out. But I'm optimistic that it'll be a good thing. And they're spending that kind of money on it. I think they're going to make a pretty big commitment to do it right. So
I hope so. And I think the CW is trying to get into sports. I mean, they got into the live golf business. Nobody watched.
Right.
And Live Golf was paying them a lot of money just to be on their TV, so they were buying their airwaves. So we'll see what this does. We got a couple of years to promote it and build it up. So hopefully nothing crazy happens in between.
You know what? This makes me wonder the most about, James.
Yeah, what's that?
The rumors were so heavy that the Xfinity Series was going streaming.
Yep.
Does that mean the Truck Series is going streaming? Is the Truck Series now in play more than it was in the past?
I mean, actually, a streaming deal for the Truck Series might be the most lucrative.
Maybe. I mean, if they're splitting the Xfinity Series off, the Xfinity Series has been part of the package since ESPN got the Cup Series back, because ESPN started with the Xfinity Series.
Yes.
And ever since then, it's been part of the main package. So if they're breaking that off, it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. It's got to get away from Fox, though. Fox doesn't care about it.
No, they don't. That's what I'm saying. That's what I think is good about this move, is that CW is going to care about it. They have to. They're spending $115 million or whatever it is.
Yep.
So
I do think we'll lose viewers eventually, but I think I don't know. Hopefully the entire sport is in growth mode and it balances out, because I think we agree 100% NASCAR fans will follow what they love.
I don't know how you lose viewers though, because again, I mean, it's not harder to watch it on CW. It's easier to watch it.
Yes, but I don't know. I mean, the hard part for me to comprehend, and this is probably where I'm wrong on this, is I can't tell you if I've ever even seen the CW.
Yeah,
in my entire life.
I mean, how many NASCAR fans are WWE fans? Probably a pretty good percentage. And WWE was on CW for a while.
Yeah.
SmackDown was on CW.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
I don't.
Yeah, I guess
honestly, I don't think it matters what the channel is anymore.
Yeah.
Because everybody's digital anyway. Even if you're over the air, it's digital. So you're looking at your digital guide and you're clicking on whatever.
Yeah, I mean, my demographic is searching things out and knows where it is before it's even on.
Yeah. And
that's how we go get it. So, yeah, maybe I have a blind spot to what I've seen so far, and I'm projecting that upon what the future might be. I don't know. The thought of it not being supported by one of the big networks, I guess maybe is where I'm having a problem.
Yeah, but the big networks are.
But Fox is screwing us over.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't know. And yeah, is CW better than being stuck on Apple or Amazon?
Yeah.
Probably.
I think so.
Because you get more eyeballs on it.
Yeah. I mean, I pay for both of those services, but I'm happier this way.
Well, and think about how hard it was for people to get the Thursday night football games for the NFL this year.
Yep.
People are like, "What the hell? I can't find my football."
Yep.
And it's on Amazon. So maybe there's something to it. Smarter people than me are making these decisions.
You don't have to worry about the streaming service going down when you get it over your TV antenna either.
That is absolutely true. Yes, sir.
So, I don't know. It's interesting. Definitely something that came out of left field. I don't think anybody was expecting it. So, even Adam Stern didn't have it until it was announced.
Yeah,
so.
Slurn only got it right at the bitter end.
Yeah. Silly season time, of course. Eric Almirola said that he's got 30 to 60 days left to tell Stewart-Haas Racing what he's doing next season. I guess there's not really a whole lot of discussion there. I think we both kind of agree that we think he's done, right?
He's probably gone. Yeah. I think it's looking probably like Cole Custer's going to come back up. It would be my guess. I don't know, unless a lot of people have Michael McDowell going over there though, so we'll see.
I don't know. I don't think so, man. I think Michael McDowell is the least likely because he's still under contract.
Yeah, but they got to put Zane Smith up somewhere. Maybe Ford makes the call. I don't know. That is going to be And with all due respect to the talented drivers at Stewart-Haas Racing, but that's going to be the worst driver stable on the grid. And it's not because they're not talented guys; they're just all super young. Yeah. And then you've got Josh Berry as a rookie trying to figure it out. I don't know. I don't know who's the leader of that core. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, when you lose someone like Kevin Harvick, though, it's to be expected, right?
You can't replace Kevin Harvick. But Rodney Childers will be there. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe something will happen. I don't know.
This isn't on the notes, but worth discussing as well. We're talking about silly season. Shane Van Gisbergen, we talked about him earlier, did make it known this weekend that he is planning on pursuing NASCAR racing next year. He will not race in V8 Supercars next year, but hinted that it might not be full-time in NASCAR. I know you had expressed previously that you think he needs to run Xfinity before he runs Cup, that you don't think he goes straight to full-time Cup.
Yeah.
I don't know that I agree with that. I think it sounds like he's got lots of offers. Sounds like he's got lots of interested teams.
I think it'd be good for him to run a full season somewhere and then dabble in the Cup Series. Yeah. I mean, so if you're only gonna run 10 Cup races, I mean that's great, but it'd be nice to get some more seat time.
But if you're gonna come over here and run full time in a series, and you can get a Cup ride, why would it make any sense to go to one of the lower series when the car that you drive is more similar to the Cup car?
Yeah. I do not disagree with you because he's shown that he can win and be a playoff driver. So
it'll be really interesting. I think a lot will be said in a couple of weeks when we go to Indianapolis. Obviously, he's coming back.
I think,
because I think we're going to see. Well, we're obviously going to see how real his talent is. I'm not doubting his talent, but we're definitely going to see him where he doesn't have the advantage over our guys.
Yeah, I made a comment earlier this week to someone and said, I'm going out on a limb here that SVG is never going to win a Cup race again. I know he's talented,
wow,
but those circumstances were so unique. I don't know if he'll ever repeat it. So we'll see. I'd like to be wrong, and typically I can be wrong, so it's okay.
Yeah, you're wrong a lot.
That's okay. I come on here and I give you content. What more would you like? I got to do the thing, man. Letting people peek behind the curtain a little bit. I got to do the thing.
Yeah. That's an interesting take. That's a really, really interesting
I think I didn't know I was going to knock you back on your heels with that one. But that was, yeah.
I'm looking here really quick because, Marcus Ambrose won twice in the Cup Series.
Bet he did.
You're saying that Marcus Ambrose is better than Shane Van Gisbergen.
Well, he had a full-time Cup ride.
Right. Well, Shane Van Gisbergen, let's say Shane Van Gisbergen gets a full-time Cup ride.
Marcus Ambrose was pretty decent.
I mean, if you have an open seat, why would you not hire Shane Van Gisbergen?
These cars
He's already got a Cup Series win, and now you're locked into six decent chances.
Watch me weave this web and spin it back upon you. Wouldn't Marcus Ambrose have benefited from driving these style of cars versus the cars he came over here and drove?
Yeah, probably.
All right. Well, I mean, I guess SVG's got that advantage, so I don't know who's better.
Well, in that case, then Marcus Ambrose would have won more races than two. In which case, again, if you say that Shane Van Gisbergen is at least as good as Marcus Ambrose, then he's going to win more than once, James.
Sure, okay. What are we doing?
You just wait till he comes and wins Indianapolis. How big of a story would that be if he wins Indianapolis?
You know, one of the reasons I do this is because I really like to get you, like, well, screw James. I'm going to take the other side on this one. I'm going to stick with it, by God.
I know. There's many times. There's times, a lot of times where I take a side, and then I regret that I took that side, but I have to keep it because otherwise it'll give you the satisfaction of knowing you won.
Yeah, it's because, Yeah. Sometimes James can be right. It's okay.
No, it's not very frequent. No, seriously, how big of a story is it if he comes and wins Indianapolis? That's huge.
Would be huge. Yeah, it would break the system.
I mean, he's not going to do it.
No, but it would hurt. I'd be bothered by it. In all honesty, because I think very highly of our guys over here. Then he can come over here and go 2 for 2 would really bother me.
Top 5? Does top 5 bother you?
No, top 5 won't bother me because he's good, man. He can drive.
I mean, I think he'll top 10 it easily.
He can wheel it. He can wheel it around. Yeah, if he wins, it's going to bother me, though. Because we're going to hear about it. And it's going to start bothering you, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It bothered me already. I mean, it bothered me a little bit that he won. I mean, I got on the bandwagon with how excited everybody else was, but it bothered me a little bit that he came in here.
Yeah, it was fun.
It's always great to see these ringers come in. You know, it was great when we went to Eldora and all these dirt ringers came in the truck series and like, yeah, we're going to beat up on these guys. And they came out and they finished, 30th.
They're terrible. Yeah.
That's good. It's fun to see that.
Yep.
So you want our guys to be the best no matter what the conditions are. So.
Yeah, I believe our guys are the best. Maybe that's where I'm coming from too. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got a little bit more information on the Andretti situation. I think that prediction is coming sooner than later.
Fruition, yeah.
I'll just read the post here from, I don't even know what the heck it's from, the Indianapolis Star. It's on Majeski. For the first time since the deal was announced in early July, Andretti explained exclusively to IndyCar how Gainbridge's multi-year primary sponsor deal with Spire Motorsports and the NASCAR Cup could help fulfill Andretti's numerous attempts to join the series. Andretti wasn't mentioned anywhere in the Spire Motorsports release outside of Marco's Truck Series appearance, but the driver's father, the Racing Series owner with entries in IndyCar, IMSA, Formula E, Supercars, Extreme E, and Indy Next, confirmed that the dual role as the team's co-owner while keeping his exclusive rules, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, basically he's hinting at the fact that instead of coming over and purchasing Spire's charters, that the team could stay in the same place. And he could basically buy into it, essentially, is what this is saying. So
yeah, and keeps his ultimate goal of getting to Formula One alive,
right?
Where he's not completely sinking all of his funding into the Cup Series. So
yeah, I think this is likely. I think it's very likely.
Yeah, he's coming in. It's just their goal is to get to Formula One,
right?
And everything else right now is they're building They're kind of building a portfolio.
Yep.
I guess. So pretty cool though. I mean, it'll be fun to have him over here.
Yeah.
I'd see Marco getting a Cup Series ride every once in a while and see what he can do too.
Yeah, and again, I mean, if it's going to help Spire Motorsports become a more competitive team, I do think that this has a lot to do with why we're hearing rumors of Corey LaJoie re-signing. Mm-hmm. It's a good thing, but again, we talked about it last week.
Yeah,
if you're going to become one of the top teams, somebody's got to fall out of those top teams.
How do you do it? How do you become a top team? It seems like it's going to be impossible.
Yeah,
eventually.
I mean, so if you've got a 36 car field, somebody's got to finish 36th.
Right.
Period.
Right.
Yep. So
especially when everybody's finishing the race.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. With that, we move on from NASCAR to SRX, James. It is time for SRX Corner.
Oh, boy.
We got to race last weekend. Had a nice, entertaining show at Motor Mile. My boy,
KFB,
came in and put a whooping on him. Not really, but he got himself a win in the SRX Series.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he did.
But most importantly, Paul Tracy got himself kicked out.
Oh, man. It's so funny. We all saw it would eventually come, right?
Yeah.
He's eventually going to wreck the wrong guy.
Well, when Tony Stewart said after the race that the best way to keep these guys from wrecking cars is not to invite them back, I figured Tracy was done.
Yeah.
Which is disappointing because he's so good. He's so much fun to watch. But he's going to hurt somebody is the problem.
Yeah, I loved it. I love to hate watch him. So, but I did text you
happened,
though.
What happened at Motor Mile was beyond what was acceptable.
Well, and then he doesn't even take blame for it. That's the biggest problem with Paul Tracy. He just is like, well, he slid into me. I'm like, well, dude, you cleaned everybody out.
Yeah.
And Ken Schrader. Oh, man, Ken Schrader. I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm not racing. I'm done. Yeah, Kenny won't be back for season 4 of SRX, I don't think.
Right.
Oh, wow. That was a good race though.
Yeah, it was.
Super entertaining, like really calm, and then Kyle and Brad got into it, which really I really enjoyed that. But I mean, the series just always delivers, man. There's always good action.
Yeah, it's interesting because it wasn't until the very end. It wasn't, a tear 'em up race. There wasn't a ton of contact, but it still was fun to watch.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
That was nice to see. And actually, kind of harken back to the first season because they weren't tearing every car up the first season.
No.
Even last year, this year's been ridiculous. The amount of cars that they've torn up. It's definitely gotten too far. And taking the fun out of it a little bit. And when you got a 12 car field, you want at least 10 of those to be running at the end.
Right.
So I don't know, but I'm a little disappointed that we don't get to see Paul Tracy this weekend at Berlin. Because of course we're going to Berlin this weekend. James and I will both be there. Yep. You and I talked before we started recording. And I probably agree with you. Paul Tracy probably done for the series. We don't think he's coming back, right?
I don't think he'll be back. No, I don't think he'll be invited back.
In his replacement this weekend, we get Johnny Benson Jr.
Homegrown.
Yes.
Michigan guy.
Yep. Former owner of Berlin Raceway. He's turned a few laps there.
He raced on dirt there.
Yeah, raced in a super modified there. Got hurt in a super modified there.
He just raced. He just raced out there not that long ago.
Yeah, he's been racing a bunch lately.
Wing deals.
Yep.
Yep. So yeah, Johnny Benson. I have his autograph. Where is it? It's right here somewhere.
Nice.
I have an autographed picture of Johnny Benson from when he was at Tri-City Motor Speedway. So
there you go.
Yep. So that'll be cool. I was wondering who they were going to get to take Paul's spot, and it just makes complete sense to go get Johnny Benson.
I saw a lot of rumors, people calling for him. Not surprising. I did see some people calling for Dale Jr. That would have been cool.
Oh my God, yes.
I'd have been down for that for sure. Being there, but
it would have been a madhouse. That's one thing. If I get a chance to, I don't know if I'll get a chance to, but if I get a chance to pick Smoke's brain a little bit, I'd love to ask him how they're evaluating for 2024, and is the formula getting a little stale, or are they, trying to continue to grow this thing a little bit more and getting somebody like Dale Jr.? Is that like a goal of theirs?
You're going to ask Tony Stewart if things are getting stale. Oh,
I
he's
wouldn't
gonna
say
have
it that
a field
way.
day with you.
I wouldn't say it that way.
I will be standing. You said you're going to wear your shirt with our logo on it. Let's not.
Yes,
do that.
I would. Yeah,
You just leave that logo at home.
Well, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I say it like that, at least we'll go viral. Because when he knocks me out.
No,
I wouldn't say it that way.
I was actually going to ask you. So we talk about them tearing cars up, and they've got to rush to get these things ready each week. And we had the rain issues for round 2 that pushed us back to Stafford for a second week in a row.
Yep.
Would this series benefit from doing like IROC instead of what they're doing, and instead of racing 6 weeks straight, maybe breaking them up a little bit, a couple weeks in between?
Almost. I struggle with this because I like that there's the momentum of a 6-week run.
Yeah, I know. I'm the same way,
but it's almost like they need to do. Maybe they could do like a 2, take a break, run 2 again, take another break, and then run the last 2 or something.
Yeah.
To stretch it out a little bit longer, but they don't want to do. I don't think they want to do that. They like where they're at right now.
Yeah, I think that the point is the momentum, but you also take a 6-race series, then you stretch it over a longer period, and maybe it whets your appetite a little bit longer. So I don't know. It was just something that I thought of today that it's like, maybe it'd be better to spread it out a little bit, and maybe it won't. I mean, if you do it every other week, it doesn't lose the momentum, but it gives them a little bit more time to fix the cars and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people online too who are starting to say, well, the Cup guys are just coming in and beating everybody, and I'm like, well, it's not really. I mean, it's always been a little bit of a part of it, but it's not always been that way. I think there's just a circumstance right now where Denny Hamlin came in and won, and Kyle Busch came in and won, but, it's, Chase Elliott did the same, but it was competitive. I mean, it's always competitive. It's not like, it's not like Clint Bowyer wasn't giving Kyle the business, and Clint's been out of the sport for a couple of years. So
well, and SRX had to know what they were doing with this because they scheduled all these weekends within a couple hours of the NASCAR weekend.
Yep.
I mean, there's a reason that Berlin is 2 days before MIS, right? 2 hours down the road. Motor Mile, was right around the corner from Pocono. Stafford was, Stafford was by New Hampshire.
Yep.
This is all planned. So they knew what they were getting with these, and that's what Tony wanted the series to be, right? I mean, he wanted it to be the best of the best. It wasn't. Yep. It wasn't. We laughed. I made fun of the first season because it was supposed to be the superstars, and it was a bunch of old washed up guys. Well, this is what the series is supposed to be now, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to be. Yeah, you're supposed to be bringing guys in.
You've got the mix of the Bobby
the
Labontes.
legends.
Yeah, you got your legends, and you've got your younger guys too. So, or your current,
and you've got
stars.
Like Brad Keselowski, who's moonlighting in, and you've got some open wheel guys like Helio Castroneves is there. So this week Casey Kane comes parachuting in. We haven't seen Casey Kane in a full bodied vehicle in a long time. He's been off running dirt. So
we got Kevin Harvick back too.
Yep, and I'd love to see us get to the point where we're getting maybe we can pull a Larson in, or a Dale Jr. or Jeff Gordon, even some of those types of guys. Would love to see those guys come in for a week or two.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm just curious what their planning structure looks like. Like, are they evaluating everything right now and looking ahead to 2024 to see what that looks like? Is really what I'd like to ask.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I mean, they've definitely got a formula that's working right now. I like what they're doing. So
absolutely.
Like I said, we will be there at Berlin Raceway this week. Maybe have some special content. We'll see. There'll be some stuff. I'm hoping to do some video stuff this week between that and Michigan. So I'll have a link to the YouTube channel in the show notes, and just watch the superspeedway.com, because everything that we post will be up there as well. So keep an eye out for that. There'll be extra content this week from what we normally have. So definitely watch for that. Also on Thursday, Brandon Croud from Lap Traffic Podcast, he's going to be there as well. As media, we're going to do a tweet up at some point between him and I and James. So we'll announce that. Just keep an eye on social media at TSuperspeedway on X, and at eyoungdbm on Threads. Watch our facebook.com/thesuperspeedway. We'll post out there when it's going to be. You guys can meet up with us, chat a little bit. I know Brandon's going to give some swag away. I don't have swag. We're not that high dollar over here on the Super Speedway. But I'll have some stickers with me or something, and
Brandon's doing a thing.
Yeah. So either way, come out and say hi if you see us out there, and we'll be down there checking it all out. I will also be at Michigan this weekend. James will not be joining me down there, but I'll be at Michigan International Speedway this weekend. Probably won't hit the tweet up for that, but tons of content coming from Michigan as well. So very excited about that. With that, James, it's Firekeepers Casino 400 weekend in the NASCAR Cup Series. We head into Michigan.
Let's go.
First of all, I'm optimistic about this race because I think it's gotten better and better the last 2 years. I think it will be better this year yet. Hopefully Michigan's finally getting into its prime between the car and the asphalt. With that, we get to make our picks, and I already said my pick sucked this week. I don't even remember where I ended up, but you're still leading, leading by more. I don't even have it pulled up in front of me. And
so I had Byron, not great, but I was able to hold you off. 20 for Byron, you had Ross, and you got 13 out of Ross. So
stupid.
I won by 7. So.
I already know who you're picking. You already know who I'm picking. I have been pretty vocal all season that I'm taking Kevin Harvick this weekend. So give me Kevin. Give me Harv forever. Hashtag forever.
Yeah, there you go.
Are they still hashtags? I don't know if they're.
Yeah, they're still hashtagging. Okay. Oh yeah, you're okay there.
I can X my hashtag Kevin Harvick forever.
Yep, you can. You certainly can.
James, tell me who I already know you're picking.
I'm taking Bubba Wallace.
Of course you are.
I was saving Bubba for Michigan, so I can try to fight off some Kevin Harvick action here. So.
I knew it before you even put it in the chat because I looked at your list and it's like, if you don't take Bubba, you're stupid.
Yeah, so. I still have Joey Logano sitting out there. I don't know what I'm going to do now. I kind of screwed the pooch on that one.
Yeah, you did. I mean, you could pick him for Daytona, though.
Yeah, I can. Yep, I definitely
Daytona's a good pick for Joey.
Yep, so that might be what I have to do.
There you go. Fantasy, I don't want to talk about. You can go ahead.
Oh, my God. It's just infuriating. So I won last week, come back this week, and Barron Speedway, he beats everybody again. Cole Custer's last stand was second. 3-time champ was third. They were all 207 to 204. So very, very close. I finished 6th, and I was just 15 points behind Barron Speedway. So it's just madness. Eric, I won't say it. Overall,
the worst part is when I'm like, oh man, I think I did kind of good, and I look at the thing and I'm like 13th.
Didn't do good. Yeah, it's hard. Yeah. So Barron's almost got 300 points on me. I'm in second. It's 279 points. And then Tandem Draft Tone is third, 3-time champs fourth. Eric, you are 7th place. You're the first person who's not in the 4,000 club, so you are right there. Now Barron's got his own club going on.
Right.
I should look and see how far he's really doing, how well he's actually doing, because he's right. God dang, dude. Yeah, he's still top 100.
That's crazy. Good for him.
Yep, he's got to be top 100. He's right there. I'm gonna look at it really quick because they're all. I'm gonna talk to him about this week. So we're gonna see. That's one of the cool things is so Derek Winter will be out there and so will Barron. So we're gonna have to make sure we say hello to some of our dear friends.
Yep, it's gonna be good stuff
of the pod.
Looking forward to it. Looking forward to it for sure.
Same here. Yep. Oh, he's just outside the top 100, I think.
Dang.
Yep, he's right there. Yep, just past it. That's crazy.
Incredible. Shout out time. I want to give, I already mentioned him once tonight, but I want to mention him again. Brandon Croud, Lap Traffic Podcast, secured a one-on-one interview with Kevin Harvick this weekend. So congrats to Brandon for pulling that one off.
His favorite driver, if I'm not mistaken.
His favorite driver in his farewell season. He gets 15 minutes one-on-one with Kevin. So that's very cool for Brandon. That's Congratulations on that. So you'll want to check out Lap Traffic Podcast next week. I'm sure he'll have that on there. He's going to SummerSlam this weekend, so he's only going to be there Sunday for the Cup race. Lucky for him, SummerSlam's on Saturday. I thought WWE usually did their pay-per-views on Sunday, but good for him. SummerSlam and NASCAR on the same weekend.
Yeah, my buddy, my brother-in-law is going over to Slam too. So
my last wrestling event, live wrestling event, WWE was WrestleMania at Ford Field.
Oh, there you go.
$100 for a ticket to barely be able to see. I watched the Jumbotron.
Good luck getting in the building for $100 now.
Yeah, no kidding. You can't even get in the building of a house show for $100 anymore.
My brother-in-law did say he got, I think, $90 tickets for SummerSlam, but I'm
Is
not
he in
sure
the parking lot?
He might be in the parking lot.
Is it like those Taylor Swift videos that you see of them all singing outside in the parking lot?
Yep, exactly. That's exactly probably what it's like. 100%.
Crazy. Can you imagine going and standing outside of an arena to hear somebody sing?
No.
I mean,
nope.
And I like Taylor Swift, but like not that much.
Yeah, I know. Not to stand in the parking lot, right?
No, it's crazy. Not only not to stand in the parking lot, to have more people in the freaking parking lot that are in the arena. It's insane. Crazy.
Yep, I know.
That woman, man, you want to talk about Elvis famous.
Yeah, I know.
That is a thing.
She's in another stratosphere.
Bet you never thought we'd talk about Taylor Swift on the podcast tonight.
Nah, I don't want to anymore. My wife brings it up enough. I'm good now.
All right. Any Black Flags this weekend, James?
Well, I have my one quick shout out.
Oh yeah, sorry, I skipped your shout out.
Right.
Sorry.
Bubba Wallace did the go-kart video using Joey Logano's audio from Pocono.
Yes, I saw that. That was
the funniest dang thing I've ever seen.
It's on really good.
Yeah, it's on X or Twitter or whatever. But yeah, Joey Logano screaming at that tow truck is going to be a meme for a while, I think.
Oh, it's so funny. I loved that he was questioned about it in the media center this week, which of course not surprising.
He was, he's a little grumpy about it.
Yeah.
Maybe we can ask him about it at SRX.
Yeah. Well, I think I'll leave that one be. My goal is to not piss anybody off this weekend. That's my goal.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, Black Flags, any?
Boy, I was trying to think if I had any. I don't think I do this week. I'm gonna save them because I think we're gonna probably pile them up at in Berlin in a couple of days. So,
yeah, I don't think I have any either. One more shout out, or maybe just a props. I've crapped on Fox pretty hard the last couple of weeks with their race coverage. I thought they did a pretty good job with Richmond. I was pretty happy with their coverage. I think they did okay. They did a decent job of following the championship chase and all that. So props were to do. And even though they weren't at the track, at least it wasn't as obvious that they weren't this week. So good for them.
Yeah, Rick Allen saying how many people live in Chris Buescher's hometown may be worth a Black Flag. The home of 30,000. And I was like, oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
Just funny.
Oh, Rick.
Yep. Yep. Gotta love Rick.
With that, James, where can people find you on social media?
At James Cush on Twitter.
You can find me at T Super Speedway on Twitter. You can find me at @eyoung DBM on Threads. I'm pushing the Threads, man. It's getting better. I'll tell you what.
No, I'm not there yet. I'm holding on to hope.
Well, I'm not quitting on it. As soon as they have a desktop app, I'm golden. But I can't tweet from the track and thumb type. It just doesn't work. I got to be on Twitter. So watch Twitter or X or whatever the hell you want to call it this week. Watch that on Saturday and Sunday from Michigan. That's where my content will be. Unless Elon tweet limits me or something. Because God, I'm not paying freaking $8 or however much it is for X Blue. So anyway, Facebook, you can find us at facebook.com/thesuperspeedway. Our website is thesuperspeedway.com. Again, there'll be race coverage and all kinds of stuff this week. So check that out. Check out Facebook. Follow along to find out when the tweet up will be on Thursday. You can find the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, and Anchor. Subscribe wherever you heard us this week for new episodes each and every week. And if you go to anchor.fm/thesuperspeedway, you can leave us an audio message and we might play it on the show. And hey, if you run into us on Thursday, you can leave us that audio message right in person. You can tell us we suck right to our faces.
Yes, you can.
We're good with that. So with that, it's a big weekend of racing here in Michigan, Berlin Raceway on Thursday night for SRX, Michigan International Speedway Saturday and Sunday for the Xfinity Series and the Cup Series. ARCA on Friday night as well at Michigan. Lots of racing to talk about. We'll be back next week to break it all down. Until then, everybody, let's go racing.